Summary of Politics and the English Language by George Orwell. The main point of George Orwell's writing is that bad writing becomes normal, which leads to political control. Orwell starts with the idea that language going wrong is a sign of corruption in civilization. But Orwell doesn't agree with the result that he thinks most people get from this first premise. What Orwell means is that he says most readers, even those who think politics and language are bad, think that language is just a reflection of society. In other words, language only shows how things are in the world. Orwell says that language doesn't just show how society is. He says that language also shapes society. He says that language can both explain and prescribe the decline of society. Orwell then takes a step back to look at what bad writing really is. He starts by listing a number of texts. It's hard, if not impossible, to figure out what the author was trying to say after reading each section. Orwell uses these passages to talk about what makes writing bad, like inflated prose or a mixture of vagueness and sheer incompetence. When Orwell talks about the traits of inflated prose, he suggests that laziness is the main cause of inflated style. That is, lazy writers don't pick their words and phrases carefully. Instead, they use inflated style to grab any words and phrases that sound smart that they happen to have on hand. Bad writers lose touch with reality when they write junky prose, which can lead to a gap between one's real and one's declared aims. He says that these writers trade truth for persuasion when they put words together without really thinking. Orwell said that inflated style spreads through society like a cancer and makes writers' and readers' minds rot. Orwell says that assassins-to-be will find it easier to use language tricks once they have become normalized. The inflated style of lazy writers can be used by manipulative governments to make lies sound true and murder respectable. To put it another way, dictatorships just take advantage of the fact that lazy writers often use unclear language. As a way to fight back against oppression, Orwell tells his people to read and write more carefully. To help a writer change his own habits and stand up to government control, Orwell gives 8 tips for writers that are meant to help them be more honest and concise. According to him, using ready-made phrases is the same as having a packet of aspirins always at one's elbow. Instead, Orwell tells his readers to use their imaginations more and make their ideas more vivid. Orwell also says to use concision, which means using as few sounds and words as possible.
About the author. Eric Arthur Blair was born on June 25, 1903, in Motihari, Bengal, British India. Blair went to boarding school in England from the age of 6 to 19 on grants. Even though he was a good student sometimes, he was socially awkward because he was poor. Blair was a police officer in India when he was in his early 20s. There, he saw directly the terrible effects of British colonial rule. Blair left India when he was 27 to tour around England and France. He started writing professionally with a collection of essays written under the name George Orwell. Blair worked as a reporter in his 30s, most famously as a war reporter during the Spanish Civil War. Blair's job put him between writing fiction and writing reality. It's true that Blair finished working as a reporter and released his book Animal Farm right before he wrote Politics and the English Language in 1945. He worked on 1984 in the last few years of his life and went back and forth between Jura in Scotland and London with it. It was published in June 1949, almost a year before his death.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.